This is Macho John and Juanito at the Mission Hospital in Asheville, North Carolina, and I'm thinking about working people. Working people I have known and loved and been, and the difference is how we get reimbursed, us working people versus those who own us in the U.S. and in Mexico. In Mexico, for generations, decades, centuries, the rich got rich on the backs of the poor peasants. It's only in the last 10 years or so that the Moreno party finally came to power, as opposed to the PRI, who was the rich people and dominated everything for decades. Now, the working people adored AMLO, Manuel Lopez Obrador, and now Claudia Sheinbaum, who, although a woman and a strong woman, not a little wussy woman, won by 80%. So the workers are on the rising tide in Mexico, but not in the U.S., where a woman could not get 50% of the vote, even though she was a stunning candidate, and where the oligarchs are in charge now, not just the millionaires, but the billionaires. And one astute reporter described Elon Musk as the world's richest man, taking life support, being directly responsible for dying babies in Africa, the poorest of the poor. And there's all this stuff that goes on in the middle, hospitals like this, where my friend Kennedy and the other nurses work their asses off. She said yesterday it was just right in the zone where she was busy, but fine. Today, they're overwhelmed, even though it's a Saturday where the professionals are mostly not here, and not much goes on a Saturday. Those nurses, I'm hearing them all day long handing off things to each. I'll get that for you. The nurses and the CNAs supporting each other to make it work. And they're doing financially better than they used to, but nothing compared with what they deserve. And the doctors, mostly not here today, they do pretty good in this system. They retire well. But meanwhile, the drug companies and the insurance companies are raking it in. And this is a for-profit hospital. So the people who are really making the money are not on the scene at all. It's the investors. It's the people who own the hospital who are doing really well, even better probably than the doctors. Now, in the poor person's hospital in Mexico, it was so poor and so understaffed that it wasn't a matter of nurses, CNAs handing off to each other. It was one nurse for the whole floor. And when she was at the other end of the floor, she could be there for most of an hour out of earshot. There were no call bells. No. And you could scream for a nurse, and people did, for an hour before she got back to your end of the ward. And the one nurse, when I said, I just need somebody to watch me walk with my walker so I can get out of here, she said, hon, I got 13 patients. I could pretend that when I get done with all of them, I'm going to come help you, but it's not going to happen. No. Now, I was a restaurant server, making $2.13 an hour. That's one of my Asheville jobs. $2.13 an hour. I was not multitasking. I was just complimenting Kennedy, my nurse here. You're keeping track of the life and death situations going on with all these different people, and you have to go back and forth all day. And she says, I'm trying. Well, I was keeping track of what they wanted for dessert, no life and death stuff. But I could manage 2 tables. Beyond that, I would fall apart because it was too much multitasking. And the company didn't mind keeping me on. I kept those 2 tables charmed, happy. And so they were fine. But I wasn't making enough to make a living because you had to do 7 tables to survive around there to make anywhere near enough money. So the working people. When I was on staff at AT&T, really sharp top managers like my one manager, Maureen Mason, she retired a millionaire after working like a dog for most of her life. AT&T nuns who had no life outside of AT&T. When I worked for Arthur Andersen, the accounting firm, there were lots of young accountants, young management consultants who worked their asses off for a year or two there just to get it on their resume, knowing they would never make partner there. But those who did make partner all were guaranteed to live a life of a millionaire when they retired. They'd all be millionaires. So, is it the best and the brightest? Is it the people who work the hardest who get rewarded? No. No, in none of these systems is it based on merit. No, regardless of what DOGE says about we're going to make it all merit-based. Yeah, well, it's all... While in the U.S., they're about to give huge tax breaks to the top 1% by taking money away from Medicaid and school lunch programs and food stamps. Yeah. It's going in the right direction in Mexico. It can happen. It can happen. There's all the same dynamics in Mexico in that election. The rich sowing disinformation. But it worked. The party of the people is in power in Mexico. So it can happen. I guess I have to focus on beating my urinary tract infection and getting well and being around to fight another day and to love. To love, that's what I do. So I do. I love the best I can whoever's around me. Affirm them, cheer them up, tell them how good they are. So I have to get myself well and get out of the hospital so I can do that, do my part to make this world a little better. Yeah. Okay, that's enough. Bye.